What is going on, guys? Gamers Goon here today, and obviously you see the thumbnail, you see the title of the video. These aren't the kind of videos I like to make, but it's videos that have to be talked about. It's videos that are important to talk about because of the implications that it has within the wrestling world. Before I actually get started, I want to address this. This is here to hold my hair back because my hair was going down in my eyes earlier. So that is why that is there. But this morning, I woke up a little bit early this morning. The first thing that I do in the morning is I scroll through Twitter a little bit, and I see this tweet, and then it goes on my group chat as it usually does, the important stuff. And it's a tweet from Ross Sap that says WWE releases are incoming. Nothing more. Then he responded to his own tweet saying some surprising names. As soon as I know that they've been informed, I will post them. So immediately we're starting off the morning on Black Wednesday. I don't know why they do this, but they release a multitude of names at once. And the names that were released today, in my opinion, this has been the biggest pot of people being released. This has been the biggest group of names. Obviously, there has been big names that have been released. There's been a John Moxley, but that wasn't in a Black Wednesday situation. There's been Samoa Joe. I mean, they have these periods of times where they just release talent all at once. And Ross Sap did also go on to say that there might be more coming later today. So if there is more and I don't go about them in this video, I apologize, but I will be making a video on those guys separately. If that does happen. But the names that were listed today, and this is from Ross Sap. Fightful has learned that the following WWE wrestlers have been released: Braun Strowman, Aleister Black, Ruby Riott, Lana, Santana Garrett, and Buddy Murphy. Wow. Let's go through these names here. Braun Strowman, who they thought could possibly be the main eventer for their show and could possibly be the face of WWE, and had a big fan base that was begging and pleading for the WWE to let him win following that Roman Reigns feud. One of the most over guys at the time because of just the sheer dominance that he produced on WWE television. He was one of the most hyped up big men I think I've seen. We got Aleister Black. If you see what Aleister Black has done in his career, from whether it's on the indies as Tommy End or whether it's in the WWE and NXT, he was part of a great NXT feud. He was a part of a great feud. He was in the center of the Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa feud, one of the best feuds in my opinion of all time. I absolutely love that feud, and they gave Aleister Black the moment of being in the middle of that feud. He's been a champion in NXT. He's put on great matches with Andrade. Aleister Black is somebody that thrived in NXT. He came up immediately with the main roster. He teamed with Ricochet. They had a great run. They were a fun tag team. I think a lot of people wanted to see him possibly win the tag team championships. But then they split. And once they split, both men kind of fell into like this weird gray area where for Ricochet, he's on television, but he's not really over. They're not really doing anything with him. For Aleister Black, they had this weird storyline where he was sitting back in the boiler room closet, whatever it might have been. He had an eye patch at one point. People were begging this guy to win at Money in the Bank last year. He did not win at Money in the Bank. People were vying for him to win potentially this year. And now he's gone. Ruby Riott. Ruby Riott had a phenomenal run in NXT, one of the best women's wrestlers I think they had on the entire roster. I could not praise Ruby Riott enough. She went very, very underappreciated on the main roster. She was in the Riot Squad, which I did enjoy the Riot Squad, believe it or not. The unfortunate part with the Riot Squad is they were still in the same type of storyline the entirety of their existence. And the one thing I want to focus on, I mean, yes, Ruby Riott's had great matches in NXT with the likes of Nikki Cross, with the likes of Ember Moon, whomever. It might have been Sonya Deville. she's had great matches in NXT. Yes, we know how good of a wrestler she is. But the thing I want you guys to realize is, what is the point of the WWE having a women's tag team championship when the Riot Squad was non-existent, did not really do anything for that title, and then you break up Ruby Riott from them. You break her up from them. Now, I do want to say something, and I don't want to get this wrong, but I'm going to quote Ross Sap on this because he did tweet it, and I don't want to be wrong on this. He could very well be wrong. I'm not 100% sure, but he said SmackDown has 7 active women's competitors. 7. And you want to know why the women's division hasn't been that interesting? You want to know why the shows in general haven't been that interesting? It's because they have lacked. And out of those 7 competitors, there's maybe 2, maybe 3 that are even worth anything right now. Not built up. I mean, nobody's built up. It's just ridiculous. They got talent sitting in catering, like a Ruby Riott, like a Liv Morgan. You have talent sitting in catering that are so damn good at what they're employed to do. They're not there to be this weird rendition of Vince McMahon's weird mind of what a woman wrestler should be. They are good when it comes to being in the ring and doing what they are employed to do, and that is wrestle. They're not there to do any of these weird romantic storylines, this weird over-the-top crap. I want you to realize that the WWE went out of their way to bring back Eva Marie, who cannot wrestle. I think I could wrestle better than Eva Marie, and I have never even stepped foot in a goddamn wrestling ring. I think I am a better wrestler than Eva Marie. But then they're willingly going out here and they're releasing a talent as good as a Ruby Riott. That is just, I don't understand how WWE can look themselves in the mirror at the end of the night and think that is a great decision. We had a very productive day. We got rid of Ruby Riott, who wasn't doing anything for us. Why? What? What? Do you want to have bad wrestling? Is that what you want? You went out of your way to get one of the worst professional women's wrestlers, or I don't even know if we can call her a wrestler. You went out of your way to get Eva Marie. But you couldn't figure out anything for Ruby Riott. She couldn't. She had, at one point, she was one of the most over people in all of NXT. Not just women, all of NXT. People were vying for her to potentially one day be the NXT Women's Champion. I don't understand how somebody can go to the main roster, go to the big leagues, and just die. Their career just dies before it ever even gets started. Now, I understand, yes, you are transitioning into that, but I don't blame them. I don't blame Ruby Riott for her failure. I blame the WWE because they don't know what the hell they're doing. Instead of pushing somebody that's good at their job, they want to go out there and they want to go get an Eva Marie. For the men's division, they want to go out and they want to bring in a Jinder Mahal. They want to go out and they want to have Dabba Kato come on it. They want to go out and they want to have whomever. Instead of going after the people that they have, like an Aleister Black in the back, like a Buddy Murphy in the back. And instead of the real good wrestlers that could go anywhere, any company, and steal the show and make Vince McMahon look like the fool that he is. I don't understand it. Does he want to look stupid? Does he want to look stupid? Because that is what happens when you let somebody as good as a Ruby Riott go. Next, we have Lana. Does anybody care about Lana in the ring? Absolutely not. But I think Lana is going to be a hot commodity in the free agent market because of what she can do on the mic and what she can do as a manager. And I believe we are going to end up seeing a reunification of Lana and, of course, Miro, her husband, Rusev. We will be seeing that situation come back together. I do think Lana will have no issue being employed at AEW in the end. I will go back through everybody where I think they'll go, but it's in the story with Lana. It's just in the story with Lana. She's not gonna. I don't expect Lana to get signed as an in-ring talent anywhere, but definitely I expect her to get signed. I expect her to have a paycheck. I expect her to be perfectly fine coming out of this unfortunate situation where the WWE just releases talents because they don't give a shit. Another one, Santana Garrett. Now, you guys probably don't know who the hell Santana Garrett is, and I can't blame you. Unless you watched the Mae Young Classic, or unless you've watched women's wrestling before WWE and you watch other brands, you're not going to know who Santana Garrett is. The Mae Young Classic, I absolutely loved what I saw of Santana Garrett. I'm not going to lie and sit here and say that I've seen Santana Garrett before then. The Mae Young Classic was the first time I got to see Santana Garrett. I thought she was really good at what she does. She is a very good professional wrestler. But I don't even really know why she ever got brought up. I'm going to be honest. She really never made her mark in NXT. She really never did anything because they really never gave her an opportunity. They never gave her a chance. And I think that's a little bit of a bad move on their part. I think she could do something good if given an opportunity, which she was not given within the entirety of WWE, whether it's on whatever show, including NXT. It doesn't matter. She was not given an opportunity, in my opinion, outside of what she did in the Mae Young Classic. I think she could go somewhere else, and I think she could bring an aspect to their women's division. I don't know how great of a character she could potentially be, but I do know of how good a professional wrestler Santana Garrett is and how good she is in the ring, and I think that once again, they look stupid. They look stupid, man. They just look stupid. They're releasing good wrestlers. I would understand if you come out here and you release somebody that just doesn't fit and doesn't really make sense, like a Jackson Riker. I could understand something like that, but really? And I'm hearing that potentially we could be seeing the Viking Raiders. Why? I feel bad for people losing their jobs, but I'm not gonna sit here and complain necessarily that the Viking Raiders could go to AEW, they could go to New Japan, they could go to Impact. It doesn't matter where the hell they go. The Viking Raiders, if they ever left, they would be bigger and better than they ever were in the WWE. I just don't understand why they let these good people just waste away and then leave. Just a waste of time. You're wasting everybody's time. Listen, you don't. If you're paying them, you're paying them money to sit on their ass in catering, eat some mashed potatoes, whatever. You're paying them to sit on their ass and not do anything. Not only are you wasting your money, you're wasting their time. You're wasting your time because you're thinking maybe this person can come do something. If you don't have a plan for somebody, then why the hell did you ever bring them up? Why the hell did you ever take them away from NXT? Why the hell are you signing somebody like a Santana Garrett if you have no plans for them even in NXT, which is the one that's supposed to be easier? Why the hell would you? You're just hoarding talent. So I'm not surprised when we get these situations where we have multiple people released. I expect there to be more. I'm going to be honest with you. I expect there to be more. I don't know how big of names we're going to get on the free agent market, but I expect there to be more. Now, I will say this. Everybody, and there is one more person, but I want to say this first. Everybody that was mentioned and is going to be mentioned, because there's still one more, is going to be available for a specific show, and I think WWE just is so dumb for doing this. If you are really about this, you have a 90-day no-compete clause if you're released, right? That means everybody here is available to work after September 2nd. Now, I do know of a show that is in Chicago on September 5th that I will be attending. I do know a show that is in Chicago that potentially we could see somebody like an Aleister Black come in at the main event when Hangman Adam Page wins the AEW World Championship. Maybe we could see a Ruby Riott come on in after after whatever happens there, whether it's Thunder Rosa, whether it's Britt Baker, whether it's a Hikaru Shida rematch, whether it's whomever, whether it's a Statland, it doesn't matter. We could potentially see a Ruby Riott. All I gotta say is they kind of messed up there, because they're gonna be available for the biggest show of AEW. They're gonna be available by a 3-day span. They're gonna be available. But next, last one we have that has been released, at least confirmed release so far, is Buddy Murphy. Man, oh man, I feel bad for this guy, man. They made this guy up to be amazing. They had him as the best secret in all of the WWE on the main roster. I thought, man, this guy could be the next rendition of a Seth Rollins on the main roster. This guy could potentially be a show stealer. And man, they said, you know what, you think he's going to be the next Seth Rollins? We're going to pair him with Seth Rollins as his lackey. We're going to have him be in a romantic storyline with the daughter of Rey Mysterio. We're going to have him just be a loser. They booked Buddy Murphy to look like a complete loser. He was a geek. He was a geek. How do you mess up Buddy Murphy? How do you do that? I don't know. But the WWE shot themselves in the foot, man. They really did. And I still have another piece of news that I do want to go over towards the end of this. But let me go back through the names and tell you where I think they're going to go. For Braun Strowman, I honestly don't know where Braun Strowman's going to end up. Now, I do know he shit on the indies before and say, go get a real job, all that. You're all high and mighty until you lose your own job. I'm not glad that you lost your job, but you shouldn't talk shit, because karma will bite you in the ass eventually. Just never say, oh, go find a real job to some. Listen, people are going to do what they love. You can't judge them for that. You just can't. Braun Strowman, I don't see him going in AEW. I'm going to be honest. Braun Strowman lacks a lot of things. He's not somebody that's going to come in and he's going to be he will be a dominant force, but he doesn't have much to his arsenal. He's not a great speaker. Yeah, I can look at an AEW, I can be like, well, they have a Miro, they have a Lance Archer, they have a Brian Cage. He fits the big guy build for sure, yeah. But why would they bring him in? Because when you're thinking about AEW, they're not going to sit there and push a Braun Strowman over Miro. Miro has a much wider potential and fan base reach, in my opinion. Lance Archer, much more talented in the ring. You go to Brian Cage, much more athletic, much more versatile, and has a lot more potential and can speak on the mic. There's just not much depth to Braun Strowman, in my opinion. I could see him going to maybe an Impact. I don't expect maybe a Ring of Honor. Maybe he floats around on the indie scene. I don't know. I've heard some New Japan things for Braun Strowman. I personally don't see it. I expect him to go to one of these kind of on the like lower end promotions. I don't want to say lower end because I do enjoy Impact, but they're not necessarily up to par in terms of being a nationally televised thing. You kind of got to go out of your way to figure out how to watch Impact. I think Braun Strowman more fits that build because he's just not necessarily as dynamic as I think AEW would want. I don't think he fits the New Japan build. Some people might think he does, but I really don't think he could wrestle that strong style. I just personally don't believe that. Aleister Black, I could see him going multitude of places. He might go back to a Ring of Honor maybe, but I don't see him going to an Impact. He might float around on the indies, who knows. But I more so see him picking between AEW and New Japan. I would love to see him in either promotion. He is very good at what he does. I think he could potentially be a very big household name. I think WWE really dropped the ball with this one. I'm still going to stand by what I said with Samoa Joe. I think Samoa Joe is probably the best talent that you could have released. Because I really love what Samoa Joe could bring to something. Because to me, Samoa Joe, he is probably the most dynamic performer. that's on the free agent market right now, but Aleister Black is right up there with him. I could see Aleister Black, if Aleister Black goes to an AEW, I 100% expect him to be feuding with whoever the top champion is at the time of his arrival. I expect that to potentially be a Hangman Adam Page after he beats Kenny Omega at All Out. I could see the situation being there's this huge, great moment where Hangman finally wins the AEW championship. The crowd goes wild. They all love Hangman. And then you have a situation where Tommy Inn comes, he lays out Hangman, he makes a statement, shows exactly where his mind is heading into AEW and heading into the contract there, and lets you know, hey, I'm targeting the champion. I want to be the AEW champion. I know exactly what I want in my career, and that is the top prize in the business right now, so I want to make my statement known. That is what I expect Aleister Black to do. I could see him going to New Japan. I think AEW is probably where he's going to end up, though. Ruby Riott. I would love to see Ruby Riott in the AEW women's division, and if I'm Tony Khan, I'm on the phone. But I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see her ending up in AEW. I actually think she'll end up in Impact. She kind of fits that build of like a Deonna Purrazzo, where she was underappreciated in the WWE, maybe a little bit too underappreciated to the point where not necessarily everybody's going to give her the same opportunity on the free agent market, and then Impact is going to come in and swoop her up. I think that's probably what's going to happen with Ruby Riott. Lana, I already said, ending back up at AEW, or ending back up with her husband at AEW. That is more than likely 100% confirmed. I cannot see her going elsewhere. Santana Garrett is actually one that I think could end up in AEW. She fits more so the AEW build of being a good wrestler. That seems like what they want to do with the women's division is just bring in good wrestlers, not necessarily people that are over currently. Because I think they know who they want to be over. Like they just got Britt Baker over, and I think they're probably going to get Statlander over. I think they know who they want to be over, but I think they need to definitely add more talent into the women's division. I think that's probably what they're going to do out and potentially going to get a Santana Garrett. And I think that could also bring in maybe a Mickie James as a veteran presence there on that show. Because what we do know is AEW wants to expand. They want to be more. They want to add more people to their roster. So I could definitely see Santana Garrett being one of those names. And then we have Buddy Murphy. I would love to say Buddy Murphy's going to be in AEW, but it just doesn't feel right to me. I don't know what it is, but when I see Buddy Murphy's, I have like a vision of Buddy Murphy's next stop, and I picture him in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think it could be big for him. I think that could really revitalize his career, once again make him a household name. I think he could be up there with maybe the Jay Whites. That's how good I believe Buddy Murphy can be. I think he has the potential to be up there with the Jay Whites, to be up there with the Okadas. I think he has the potential to possibly be one of those household names in New Japan. But we're going to have to see. And I want to close it out on this. I've been hearing a couple things going around the community the last couple hours. I feel like I've known about it for a little bit more, maybe like about last 24 hours. But what I've been hearing is this idea that WWE is opening up to the idea of potentially selling the company. I don't necessarily know what that means. I'm going to be honest with you. I've heard Disney being thrown around. I've heard ESPN thrown around. Obviously, it's done for the purpose of gaining more money for the Vince's bottom line. I don't know if buying the company or selling the company, does that mean Vince McMahon is no longer the chairman? I have no idea. Does that mean that it's going to be a whole new creative staff? I have no idea. But what it seems to me, as an outsider looking in, is that Nick Khan, the new president of the WWE, the guy that Vince McMahon personally hired to be in this spot, it seems to me that this guy has kind of like an ego inflation going on, man. I'm going to be honest with you. Because not only did he do this, but he also brought in probably the worst commentator of all time in Adnan, but I don't think he knows what he's doing. I think he wants to make these big changes to kind of leave his impact, no pun intended, on the WWE. But he doesn't really know what is the WWE, what works for the WWE. When you think of the WWE, at least when you have me, when I'm talking about a commentator, I don't want Adnan. I don't want him. I want somebody like a Morrow. I want somebody with some depth to their voice. I want somebody that's going to be excited, passionate. For an example, I can't really think of anybody off the top of my head that's a free agent commentator. I'm going to be honest with you, so I'm not going to sit here and throw out names outside of Morrow. But like an Excalibur does for AEW. He knows his shit. He'll get his guys over. It just works. WWE, to me, doesn't have that. They have Michael Cole. They have Corey Graves. The fuck? We got these robots. Oh my goodness. It's Carmella. I can't believe it. She's looking great today, might I tell you. Shut the fuck up, Corey. We know you're dating. You fucking thirsty ass bitch. Shut the fuck up on commentary. I know Vince is sitting back there feeding you that shit too. Shut the fuck up about... I don't give a shit. Talk about some fucking important shit. Oh, Carmella is 3-14 in her last 17 matches. She's this and that. She has this finish. Tell me something that matters. Tell me something that matters. Don't tell me some bullshit. You're telling people, well, she looks pretty today. Shut the fuck up. Why the fuck do you have to tell people that? The fuck are we doing? You got Michael Cole. Michael Cole just sits there doing whatever fucking gimmick comes to mind that Vince wants him to fucking go out there and say. The monster among men. Shut the fuck up. We know his nickname. Tell us something about him more important. Tell me what he's done recently. Give me oh, you gotta watch out for this move. You gotta watch out for that move. Tell me something. I don't need you to tell me the things that I'm seeing. Well, that's what you get with the monster among men. Tell me something. Get somebody that knows their shit on the damn commentary team. And a guy like Nick Khan's not gonna know that. Nick Khan doesn't know. Nick Khan doesn't know that that's what people want to hear. Nick Khan's like, well, yeah, telling people exactly what they see is great. We're not going to give them an in-depth analysis. We're just going to tell them what is happening. We're just going to say, oh my goodness, I can't believe this. Or, ooh, ah. What the fuck are you, the crowd? Can you pay me to watch this shit and make those reactions? Ooh, ah, big move. The fuck? What the fuck? You're paying people money to do that. You pay that damn money to come out there and not know a damn thing about pro wrestling. That's not the kind of people you need to be looking for. You need to be looking for people that know their shit. You don't need to be looking for these people that are, they've been in the industry. They've been a commentator for ESPN. You hired them. Do they fucking know a thing about wrestling? That should be in the resume. You must pass a test about wrestling. Forget whatever your background is. Oh, you know baseball. I don't give a shit. Congratulations, you know baseball. Can you add anything to the pro wrestling show? That's what Nick Khan needs to be focused on. That's not... I don't give a shit about any of his ideas or any of this stuff. He needs to be focused on making the show good. He needs to make sure the show has depth to it. And we're sitting here worrying about an extra deal. We're sitting here worrying about potentially selling the company. Because this guy has no idea what the hell he's doing. And they just need money. They just need more and more money. These fucking people, man, all they want is fucking money. You're a multi-million-dollar corporation, and all you want still is money. You don't care about putting on a good show, which could lead you, believe it or not, to more money. Believe this or not, And I know this is a wild concept. This might be a foreign concept to people like Nick Khan. This might be a foreign concept to Vince McMahon. I don't know where the fuck Vince McMahon's business has gone since the last 4 or 5 years. But believe this or not, the more people you have watching your product, the more likely they are to go out of their way and go to your WWE shop and go buy a t-shirt, go buy a ticket to the events, or go do things. I've heard some rumors that these shows, not the big shows like a Money in the Bank, but some of these shows have struggled to sell out. How do you let that happen? You know how many people have sat in their house for the last year and 4 months, or however long it's been since the pandemic begun, and have been craving to go out and do something. I don't even think this is people being hesitant, because I don't even think AEW's had an issue doing this. People just don't give a shit. They just don't care anymore about the WWE. People have stopped watching. I can't even watch on the same day anymore because I have to go through on the fucking DVR because half the shit is fucking bullshit. Now, yes, I am returning and I am doing it for YouTube because that is what I do. I will come back and I will watch live, but the show has been awful. The show has been terrible. Terrible. And you expect people to want to give you money? I don't know how you trick these investors. I don't know how you trick people into buying your company or thinking you have a bright future. I don't know. I don't know how you got the Peacock deal. I don't know how you got into Saudi. And by the way, I believe we are going back in Saudi later this year. So have fun with that, WWE talent. I bet you'll enjoy being stuck on the runway again. I don't know why the hell we still do that after that situation. You'd think they would realize their lesson and said, you know what, we're going to have to pull out of the deal. Fuck the money. We got to make sure our guys are protected, but no, that's not what WWE cares about. All they care about is money. All they care about is money. But why? I don't know. You're a multi-million-dollar corporation. I understand you got to make profit to keep your organization going. I understand that. But believe it or not, if you put on a good show each and every week, your ratings would not be decreasing. They'd probably actually be increasing. And guess what? If you're sitting at like a 2.5, you're sitting at like a 3.0, when you're sitting around those situations and when you're around that average, you're going to sell tickets. You're going to sell shirts. You're going to sell merchandise. You're going to sell. You're just going to sell. You're going to have a good business model. If you're making a viewer base interested, they're going to go out of their way and they're going to buy things. You got to realize half the people that are watching right now are diehard fans. I don't know many people that have gone out of their way and bought shirts recently or bought anything new. But if you make the show good again, that's easy money. The only thing I can tell you is I know a lot of people that have gone out and got a lot of Roman Reigns merchandise, which is easily justifiable. Nothing against those people. Roman Reigns has been the best thing on WWE television by far. Everything else is way down here. Roman Reigns, I can't even get my hand as high as him. Roman Reigns surpasses literally everybody in the WWE right now. Everybody combined could not match Roman Reigns. That is the one good thing that WWE has done during the pandemic, is Roman Reigns. That is the only person that is justifiable. I'm going to get on out of here. But, hey man, this was it turned into more of a news video. I will be doing something similar to this each and every week once June 20th comes around. And if there are more releases today, I will be making a video. Let's just check my group chat here and make sure there's nobody. Let's make sure there's nobody yet. Wait. Oh, that's all the releases so far. Okay. That's not too bad. Yeah, but so far this year we've had Andrade, Lars Sullivan, Steve Cutler, Samoa Joe, Peyton Royce, Billy Kay, Mickie James, Chelsea Green, Patrick Clark, thank God, Alexander Wolf, Jessamine Duke, Vanessa Bourne, Brandy Lawrence, and then the people I mentioned today. I thought that was a new list. I thought that was more people being released. But that is the updated everybody that's been dropped in 2021. So like I said, man, I do not support the business model that they use to release people. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's justifiable. But they'll move on. Everybody, there's only one person that I don't know necessarily what he could do afterwards, and that's Braun Strowman. I think everybody else will have no problem finding work. Braun Strowman might, because I don't think he has that depth to his arsenal that some of the other people have, and could potentially be more appealing than a Braun Strowman. Yes, Braun Strowman is technically a household name because of how big the WWE tried to make him. But I don't necessarily know whether or not that's going to mean anything when it comes to signing a contract elsewhere. But like I said, I'm going to get on out of here. GamersGoonYT on Twitter. thegoongameryt on Instagram. I will be doing a vlog soon. Next week. I will be moving out. I will be getting a move out vlog. I'm actually going to start picking up some of the stuff in my room and start moving things in and out here today, actually. Once I get my my econ class over with. Somebody help me, please. Econ is not for me. It's just not. But yeah, once I get that econ class finished today, I'm gonna start picking up the room, watch some New York Knicks basketball for my boy Derrick Rose, for my boy Taj Gibson. Hopefully we get a victory there for my Chicago Bros. But I'm gonna get on out of here. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like this video, and I will talk to you guys later.